Hi guys, Annette here. I'm going to make some cranberry sauce. I got two-pound bags of cranberries from my gleaning group today. So I thought that I would make that into cranberry sauce. I've already made some cranberry sauce to put up for throughout the year and for next year, but these were too good to pass up. A few of them are starting to get kind of soft in there, but overall they still are pretty good. A lot of times I make my cranberry sauce with orange juice. I don't have any orange juice today, but I have 100% juice apple cider. So I'm going to be using that as the liquid. I like to use a juice as my liquid. I did have some little cutie oranges, so I zested those and juiced them. There's about 3 little cuties in there. And then I got 4 apples from my gleaning program as well, because I like to put apple chunks in my cranberry sauce. A lot of people just make it really plain, like some cranberries, some water, and sugar. I mean, you can make cranberry sauce that way too. I like to add a little bit more to it. It's not quite like a cranberry chutney. I don't put any onions or anything in it, and I don't put nuts because a lot of my family members don't like nuts, but I do add some extra fruit to my cranberry sauce. This has to be boiling water bath for 15 minutes. So after I wash the cranberries and get them on the stove with probably 2 cups of the apple juice, I will also put the pressure canner on the stove, but I'll be using it as a water bath canner. I gave my water bath canner away because my pressure canner can double as a water bath canner, and it saves me in storage space of having so many big pots. So in just a second for you guys, I'll be back with the cranberries rinsed and in a pot, and we'll start adding the ingredients. Alright guys, I have the cranberries in the pot. I put it on medium heat. I'm going to add in 2 cups of the apple cider, which is right here. Just going to pour that right in there. Let these start to kind of simmer away. The berries will start popping open and releasing their own juice. Cranberries are pretty high in pectin as well, so they should thicken this up nicely. If I need to add a little bit more juice, I will. I'm not going to add the apples right away because I don't like them to dissolve into nothing. I like there to be like little pieces of apple in my cranberry sauce. But I am going to go ahead and add the lemon, or excuse me, the orange zest and juice right into there. I'm also going to add I'll start with probably 3 cups of sugar and add a 4th one if I need it. Most recipes call for 1 pound of cranberries to 1 cup of sugar. Since I am using juice, I may need a little bit less, and I don't like my cranberry sauce overly sweet. I do like it sweetened because cranberries are very tart and they need some sugar, but I don't like it overly sweet because it goes with meat. For a dessert, maybe you would add some more sugar, or for a jam or a jelly, you'd add more sugar. But since I mostly make my cranberry sauce to go with the turkey or chicken, I don't like it super duper sweet. Also, this cranberry sauce goes really, really well over a brick of cream cheese to use as an appetizer with some good crackers. So it's another way you can use this. Or you can use it in a dessert to make like cranberry bars, and if you needed it a little bit sweeter, you could just add some sugar to it when you go to make the cranberry bars. I actually may be using some of this to make some cranberry bars, and if I do that, I will try to make a video for you guys on that. So I'm going to let this start to come to a simmer. I have a few jars in my water that's starting to get hot there. I'm going to go get some, those are half pints, I'm going to go get some pints. I've already done quite a few half pints of cranberry sauce, so I'm going to try and do more pints this time. So I'm going to go get 4 or 5 pints and put them in there so that they can sterilize. That is a step you do not have to take, but since I have to get the water hot anyway, I go ahead and just start them while I'm starting the cranberry sauce or jelly or whatever I happen to be making. So I'm going to stir this around, get some sugar in there. I'll probably show you guys putting in some of the sugar, and I'll be back in just a sec. Alright guys, there's 2 cups of sugar in the pot. There goes in the third one. I'm going to give this a good stir. I hear a few of the cranberries starting to pop in there, which means the bottom is starting to get warm, which is what we want. And this may seem a little like not enough liquid, but it definitely is, especially once these cranberries start popping and releasing their own juice. I really do not want a runny cranberry sauce, so like I said, if I do need to end up adding a little bit more apple juice, I can do that, but I don't want to add too much juice too soon. So I'm just going to add the 2 cups for now. Let this start to cook down. You can really smell the orange and the orange zest in there, even though it was only 3 of those little cutie oranges or tangerines or whatever they are. It smells really good. Orange goes incredibly well with cranberry, as does apple. I think using all 3 makes a really, really great combination. When this starts to cook down a little bit more, I'll bring you guys back to show you what it looks like. I'll be testing it for sweetness, and then also adding in some cinnamon and nutmeg. I like a little spice to my cranberry sauce, not too much, just to give it, just enough to give it that kind of holiday flavor. So like I said, after this is cooked down a bit, I'll bring you guys back to show you what it looks like. Alright, everything's starting to cook down a little bit. You can hear the cranberries popping away in there. You can really smell the orange and the orange zest along with the cranberries. I'm just going to let it simmer and simmer until all those cranberries really start to break down. And as they do, I'll bring you guys back and show you what it looks like. Alright guys, it's only been a few minutes, but you can see how it's already starting to thicken up. Those berries are starting to break down. It's probably been about 4 or 5 minutes since I showed you guys last time. Just really boiling away. I'm just going to continue to let it do this. I did turn down the heat just a little bit. As it boils and simmers like this, the sugar and the pectin from the berries will thicken the sauce. And as it cools, it also thickens, so just keep that in mind too. It does thicken up a bit as it cools. If you wanted jellied cranberry sauce with no pieces of cranberry in there, you'd have to cook the cranberries down and then put them through a jelly bag to remove all of the skins and seeds. There are little tiny little seeds almost in cranberries. They don't bother me at all. I like whole cranberry sauce. I think it tastes much more homemade and doesn't resemble that stuff from the can at all. So this is how I make mine, but if you did want jellied, I'm sure there are other versions online that you can look at too. I might turn this down even a little bit more. It's starting to splatter a little bit. And when I start adding in the apples and the spices, I'll bring you guys back. Alright guys, this is about the consistency that I like it. It's starting to look really good. I did go ahead and add another cup of sugar. It did need it. It was just a little too tart still. So it was 4 cups of sugar total, but that was for 4 pounds of cranberries. So I feel like that's a pretty reasonable amount. See how everything's really broken down. It's starting to really thicken up. I tasted it. It was good as is. You could just leave it plain just like that if that's how you like it. I did go ahead and add a little bit of freshly ground nutmeg, maybe 1/4 of a teaspoon, not very much. A little goes a long way. And I'll add probably about a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I'm also going to add in these apples. I'll get the rest of those out of there in just a moment. Just going to stir these down in there. Oh, the addition of that cinnamon makes it smell so good. It smells like the holidays in here. With the cranberry and the apple and the orange and the cinnamon and the nutmeg, it just smells amazing in here. So I'm going to let this come back up to a good simmer. Cook the apples just a little bit till they're nice and heated through and slightly softened. And then we'll be back to can it up. The jars are in there boiling away, sterilizing, so they'll be ready when this is ready. And I'll bring you guys back as soon as it is. Okay guys, I wanted to let you know that I added about a half cup more juice too. I feel like it needed to be loosened up just a little bit after adding those apples in. It's coming back up to a boil now. Please make sure that you continuously stir this. You do not want it to get burnt on the bottom. Burnt cranberry sauce is not going to taste good. So it needs to be constantly kept moving. Try to use a thick bottom pan if you can. This one has a pretty decent bottom on it. And always use non-reactive cookware like enamel coated or stainless steel. Because this is acidic and you don't want anything leaching into your food. So really for canning, I think that stainless steel is best, but if all you have is enamel coated, go ahead and use that too, or non-stick even. I don't prefer that, but if that's what you have, use that over like an aluminum pan, because you don't want the aluminum salts leaching out into your food. So that's pretty much done. I'm going to let it simmer for just a few more minutes here. You can see that you can definitely still see the apple pieces. They're getting nice and hot, but they're not going to dissolve into nothing, which is how I like it. I like when I'm eating my cranberry sauce to bite into a little piece of apple that has been soaked in this cranberry, sugary, syrupy juice. It tastes really good. And like I said, this is really pretty over some cream cheese with some crackers as an hors d'oeuvre. Or you could use it to make some kind of cranberry, like oatmeal bar, as a dessert. So you can use it in multiple ways. Plus, cranberries are really good if you have like a urinary tract infection starting. They're really good to clean out your kidneys. So if you can, as a way of being self-sufficient or having preparedness items on hand, doing up some cranberry sauce might be a good idea, just even to help with health. The sugar part added to it isn't the greatest, but this is a really good way to preserve cranberries. So, like I said, I'm going to let this go for just a few more minutes, and I'm going to start pulling those jars out, and we'll get this canning up here in just a minute. Okay guys, there is my cranberry sauce all finished up. There's the jars. I think I've said in previous videos, I do it assembly line style. Some people do each jar and put it back in the canner. The reason why I feel comfortable doing it this way is that you don't even have to sterilize the jars anymore. So these could literally be just right out of your drain rack, and put this product in and put it into the canner. So I believe that just sitting out in the open air for a few minutes is not going to hurt anything. I'm going to go ahead and fill each one. I'm going to wipe the rim. I am going to put a clean, warm lid on and ring, and then put them in the canner, and they're going to boiling water bath for 15 minutes. I'm going to show you filling at least one jar. I believe cranberry sauce is a 1/2 inch headspace. That's what I'm going to do today. I did not double check it, but I'm pretty sure I just did this a few days ago, and I'm pretty sure it was a 1/2 inch headspace. So that's what I'm going to shoot for. It's very hard to tell. Sorry, I know I don't show you guys very good on camera what I'm doing. I think that's good. That actually might be a little bit much, but actually that's pretty good there. That's probably about a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go on and do the rest of these jars, and when they're all filled up, I'll bring you guys back and show you at least how many I got, and we'll get them going into the canner. So there's all the jars filled. I got 7 pints and 2 half pints. Some have a tad bit more than a 1/2 inch headspace. I'm okay with that. It's more like 3/4 of an inch on some of them, but I'm not too worried about that. If you want to be super duper precise, you can. I've never had a problem with having a tiny bit of extra headspace, but if you want to stick totally and completely to the rules, you might not get full jars here. I'd rather have all of these go up in the pantry because I don't need any right now. And if I do have one with a little lower headspace, I try to use it first. But I have never ever had a jar go bad. Actually, not a single jar ever. So, as long as you process everything correctly for the correct amount of time, you shouldn't have any problems. I got my wet towel. I'm going to go around the rims here. I made a little mess on my towel there, but that's okay. I love these mats, by the way, from the Dollar Tree. They're great for canning. They're like the dish drying mats, and they're not as thick as the ones from like Bed Bath & Beyond or somewhere, but they're a great thickness for your canning. And usually the stains come out pretty well. And if they don't, it's not that big of a deal because it was $1. So I have a few of these. I have this green one, I have a black one, and a red one. And Dollar Tree almost always has them. So sorry if you hear kitties in the background. They want some dinner, which they'll get as soon as I'm finished with this video. So I'm going to go ahead, like I said, wipe all the rings, put these lids on. They've been washed in warm soapy water. They're ready to go on. So you just wipe around the rim like this. Make sure there's nothing on there. Some people do it with vinegar. I really only do that when I am canning something greasy, like anything that's meat based. So you just go around the rim like that. There's nothing on that rim really, because you can see there on the towel. You take a clean lid, you put that on, and then you screw a band on fingertip tight. I still need to get those out real quick. Fingertip tight is not loose, by the way. Some people are afraid of over tightening them. If you put them on too loose, they also may not seal. So make sure you put them on till you meet some good resistance, but don't wrench them down really hard. So I'm going to get these all ready to go in the canner, and I'll bring you guys back once I'm putting them in. Okay guys, here's the last 3 jars to go in the canner. Like I said, I wiped the rims, put the lids on, put the rings on fingertip tight. Got my pot of water back on, and it is picking up actually on camera pretty well. You can see the little bits of apple floating in there. I think it looks so pretty in that really deep red sauce. It tastes amazing. I took a little sample out of the pot. I'm just putting them in my pressure canner that I'm using as a water bath canner. They need to be covered by 1 inch of water, and you need to start the timer when it comes to a full rolling boil. And like I said, it's going to be 15 minutes. I wanted to show some of you this jar. I don't know if you've seen these before. National Centers for Home Food Preservation says as long as a ring and a lid fit a jar, it is appropriate to use it for boiling water bath canning. So if you find any commercial jars that take the ring and the lid, feel free to use them for water bath canning. The Classico pasta sauce jars, most of them work. Some of them do not. Some of them have, the smaller sizes have the lug top lids, but some of them do fit a ring and a lid. And those I actually have used in the pressure canner before and have had no problem whatsoever. Actually, the only jars I've ever had break have been ball or care jars. I've never had a commercial jar from the store break. So this one is from the Marie's salad dressing. It's in the refrigerated section. I think it's just such a fun shape for jams and jellies and sauces. It's a little tiny bit smaller than a pint, but not much. And I just really like them. I think they look pretty, and they're kind of a different shape, and it's something kind of fun to have. And I actually like the Marie's salad dressing, so when it goes on sale or I get it at my gleaning program, I definitely pick it up. because I can use the dressing and then reuse the jar. So if you see that Marie salad dressing in the store and it's on sale and you like it and you're a canner, pick some up and save the jar. That's also going into the canner, and I'll push these around a little bit and there will be room for the one more that's coming. Show you one more peek. There's the apple pieces floating in there. I think it looks so pretty. And once these come up to a boil, I will start the timer for 15 minutes and then I'll bring you guys back as I pull them out. Okay guys, the cranberry sauce is done. It boiled for 15 minutes. I took it off the heat and I let it sit for about 5 minutes in the hot water. You can see the air is escaping, which is what you want to have happen. It means that it's creating a vacuum seal. So I'm going to start taking these out. You can see what it looks like there. You can still kind of see the apple pieces. And I'm going to set them right over here on this towel to cool. And get the rest of them out of the canner and then give you guys one last peek at the jars. I'll be right back. Okay guys, there is the final view of the cranberry sauce with apples, apple juice, orange, and orange zest. Hope you guys give this recipe a try. It is not really an approved recipe, but everything in it is high acid, so I feel like it's very safe to use. It doesn't have any more of a density than a traditional cranberry sauce would have. If you feel like you can only use approved recipes, please look up a recipe for cranberry sauce and make it that way. But I will leave my ingredients in the description box below in case you want to try this recipe out. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope that you give this a try. It's great to have on hand for any time of year. Awesome on turkey sandwiches. And if you do it now, even if you follow the 1-year rule, it will still be good for Thanksgiving next year. So you can make it now and have one less thing to worry about during the holidays to make ahead. It will be already ready and up in your pantry. So until next time, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.